Aloha, y'all. It's Monday, Moon Day, named after the moon, esoterically ruled by the moon. It's the 16th of June. Tomorrow's my 40th birthday. Holy cannoli. The sun is in Gemini, the moon is in Aquarius. Mars is about to exit Leo. There's a lot of astrology going on. I'll reference it as we go, but the cards we've got for this Moon Day are the Death card, heavy, the Three of Swords, heavy, and Emptiness from the Galactic Heritage deck. So all pretty heavy stuffs, but let's get into it. If you are a Scorpio, the Death card is your card. I've written music to all the major arcana, so check it out. This is almost like, it's called a toll, and it's almost like this soundscape poetry thing going on. Heavy and interesting and surreal. You'll enjoy it probably. Check it out in the comments. So, the ending of a major phase is to be trusted. Uranus and Taurus turning Pluto in Aquarius, retrograde. Can't you feel it? Everything is shifting. Right? It's like a lava lamp, like that pink at the bottom. It's melting and changing all around us. Surrender, North Node in Pisces. Awaken to life, new growth. Strip yourself bare. Shuffle off your current identity and rebirth yourself. What a time for letting go of what we thought we were. It's like Fight Club. You are not your identity. You are not your job. You are not. These are real, but they're not true. You got to turn off your mind like his third eye is shot out and relax and float downstream, as the Beatles say in Tomorrow Never Knows. So, on page 48, Death, I know that this too shall pass. This highly revered card does not signify physical death. It heralds the death of a particular situation externally or part of you internally. Like all major transitions, it brings with it substantial amounts of grief, anxiety, hopelessness, and fear. The end of a chapter in life can be hard to accept, but accept it you must if you wish to move on. Death depicts the ghostly resonance of an inhabited skeleton floating in space. An abstract environment with golden mathematical patterns, nature, numbers, flowers, and other symbols indicate transformation. The skull and withered leaves denote decay and death, the life and juice sucked out of form. The brilliant and seductive orchid blossoms represent regeneration, virility, sexuality, and fertility, Venus and Taurus. The potent visual sensory language of flowers. Death and birth are twins, Gemini season, intimately linked. We can't have one without the other. They work together. One leads to the other, and the presence of one calls to the presence of the other. In a very real sense, we are living the cycles of death and rebirth all the time. Every night we sleep, we experience a mini-death, the dissolution of awareness of the physical body, which makes way for the mental dream body, which then dissolves to enter deep sleep, silent, empty, and awareness. On his deathbed, the great philosopher Socrates exhorted his followers to practice dying as the highest form of wisdom. The Tibetans don't view life as a straight line from A to B like we do in the West. Rather, it's seen as a full circle where birth and death connect with one another like an electricity circuit that conducts energy. According to most branches of religion and mystical tradition, it is the soul, or the repository of integrity and neutrality as witness, the hub of the wheel. It's the soul that transmigrates and continues beyond death. Mind, with its memories, ideas, and values, are left behind with the body at death. Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aquarius. It's like we can't take our ideas with us. Death indicates that sudden and unexpected change is imminent. The ending of a major phase or aspect of your life is to be trusted. Death is the master cleanser. If you surrender to the process of dissolution, the letting go of a situation or a way of being that you have outgrown, allowing it to unfold naturally, there will be much new growth, new life. We can use death as a catalyst to awaken to life. Ponder, for example, how you'd live if you knew you were only going to live for one more year. What authentic risks would you take? What conversations would you have? A Year to Live By Stephen Levine suggests that we don't wait for a death sentence. With every breath you take, someone else in the world dies. Death, darkness, and difficulty are needed as much as light, ease, and flow. Yin and yang. It is what it is. So death, the ending of a major phase, is to be trusted. Surrender, awaken to life and new growth. Strip yourself bare, shuffle off your current identity, and rebirth yourself. The caterpillar turns into the butterfly when it lets go, right? It's got to die to become a new, better creation in a sense. It's not better, but you see if you want to fly, you got to stop being a caterpillar. So the Three of Swords is the clarifier. If you're a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you're a sword. It says on page 126, I see life as meaningless and cruel. Freedom arrived at through despair, questioning everything and asking quality questions. Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aquarius. Life is cruel and without meaning. It can be very difficult at times when we look around us and say, our government is changing and collapsing. My body is changing and collapsing. My social situations, my money, my sight, whatever it is, the things we hold on to, we have to learn how to hold on loosely because they're on loan. We're just strangers passing through the holographic matrix in a sense. And what a trip it is. But that can make us feel like, oh my gosh, beam me up, Scotty, get me out of here. This is too much for my mind. It's breaking my soul and spirit. Well, the shadow of Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aquarius is that we're overthinking it. We have to turn off our minds and ultimately come to a place of peace with the emptiness that is the abiding awareness beyond all, unifying all things. On page number 108 in the Galactic Heritage deck, on this moon day, the wild card is the alien card. On page 147, 108, which is the number of mala beads in a Buddhist prayer necklace. Emptiness, Orion light, future timeline. Imagine taking off in a plane. At first it is bumpy and the scenery is filled with many distracting things. This represents the mind. As you take off and fly through the clouds, it is like passing through the emotions. Sometimes there's bumpiness in the clouds. Eventually you rise above the clouds and there's nothing but endless empty sky. This is your true state of consciousness, an endless empty field of awareness that contains nothing. There are no opinions or desires, only light. The Orion light within you, or the sky, has always existed and always will. When you recognize this, you awaken. Apotheosis. The last 4 cards of this deck access the energy called the Orion light, and this is the last card of the deck, the death card of this deck. They reference the complete healing and integration of not only the polarity within the Orion system that has affected us all, but the polarity that played out within the holographic matrix of creation in its entirety. This last card of the deck represents the end of our journey, death card, from unity to polarity to reintegration. The one fractalizing into the many, and then the many becoming aware of its oneness, essentially. That's the whole shebang, the Ouroboros loop. The theme of this card, emptiness, refers to a state of complete integration and balance when polarity ceases and consciousness of the one is at rest but ever abiding, both completely full and empty simultaneously. This card captures the energy of paradox, Sun in Gemini, and is actually our true nature, North Node in Pisces. Adept meditators and yogis have experienced this state as various forms of samadhi, and we mentioned samadhi yesterday a few times and talked about it in the Team Rabbit Hole podcast with Andreas. Great episode, Exertus, episode 316. If you don't know, get on that wave. I'll post it in the comments. But the paradox is that as soon as we try to describe it with language, Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aquarius, its true essence becomes distorted. It can only be experienced. So why did this card come up for you? Again, it depends on your life circumstance and other cards in your reading, but most likely it's because somehow you need a reminder of where you're going, eventually back to source. You know, the rain falls, becomes a river, goes to the ocean, and does it all again. You're going back to source. From dust to dust, this is just a mortal coil, in a sense. And a reminder about your true nature, which is both empty, full, and devoid of polarity. This card is meant as an encouragement for your spiritual journey and an embrace given to you by Source itself. Surrender to the embrace, Jupiter in Cancer, get a big old hug from the universe, become nothing, and you will find that in that nothingness, the loving fullness of creation will be all that exists. So even though we might struggle and, be scared of the transformations, you got to think that caterpillar is like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Or the baby in the womb is like, oh my gosh, here we go. And it might feel like an overwhelming mental situation. This too shall pass. It's like the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It gets ratchet, and then you break on through to the other side. And what is the other side? On the other side of that portal, death. Whether it's a perspective, an attachment, your physical body, ultimately, all these things change, and we have to make peace with that horror, the cosmic horror that is. Because we're consciousness having a dream of materiality, essentially. So if you've enjoyed this, leave a tip, holler for a reading. I love giving them, for real. People love getting them, for real, 5 stars. So it's not bad, it's top shelf shit. $150 for 3 hours of astrology, $50 for an hour of cards. If it's your birthday, it's half off either or both of those. And if you get somebody to through a referral, like, oh, Bill, go to him, and Bill comes to me, you get half off on cards. Tomorrow is my 40th birthday, so wish me a happy birthday. Leave a tip, dare I say. And, big changes are coming. Don't fear the Reaper. This too shall pass, but pass into what? The all-abiding unity of Source, essentially. We're just a figment of an imagination having a dream, basically. So, on that note, enjoy your moon day, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Adios.